Don't give up.
They were able to come out and give a full, in-depth inspection. That process ultimately led to a doubling of the claim.
He probably got me, at least on this roof, $50,000 more by my calculation than I would have gotten with the other roofers.
It goes far beyond what a normal roofing company would do. We're gonna do it right.
McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma back on the air. And now Chris Guanera is joining us. He found the radio station.
I did. Thank you so much for the great directions.
On this date in 1776, you remember that date in our American history?
Oh, yeah.
Well, on this date of August the 2nd, 1776, was finally the formal signing of the U.S. Declaration of Independence by 56 people. I would have thought it all happened on July 4th, but apparently it took a while. Anyway, a few years later, 1790, on this date, the first U.S. census was conducted. Our population was just under 4 million at that time, and that included almost 700,000 slaves on this date, August 2nd. Okay, so let's get back to the roofing permit.
Okay.
I just picked up a little bit what you were saying about the it doesn't cost the homeowner anything extra.
Well, it's the permit is $95.40 or $94.50. I don't
Something
remember
like
which.
that?
Something like that, about $95. The contractor, if you're doing this in the context of an insurance claim, the contractor will simply attach a copy of his roofing permit to his insurance final, and the insurance company will pay for the permits.
Oh.
If you look at all the claim summaries, it will say that permits are paid for if required and if obtained, or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's something that the insurance company. Now, if you were doing a cash deal, then obviously the contractor should have included that in
Right.
his estimate as part of the cost of his work. So, yeah, $95.
Any
$95.
idea how many permits were issued on yesterday?
I have no idea, but like I said, Carly was on there. First thing she did when she walked in the office yesterday morning, and we were number 4. So somebody was on there before 7 o'clock, and who knows how many actually got issued.
That's got to be encouraging.
Being interesting.
I mean, if that was her
we
priority,
were getting phone calls earlier in the week about, hey, Scott, we're trying to get a permit for a Friday job, and what are we doing? And of course, in conversations with the city, we had been told that the site will not be live until Friday morning.
Okay.
And so it was kind of one of those things that, people were asking us what they do. So we knew there were people out there that wanted permits for Friday.
Good.
So hopefully everyone got their permits on Friday.
I think that's very encouraging.
Anyway, so the requirements for us during this build were to take some photographs and send those in to the inspectors when we request. Once we upload the photos, we can then request our inspection.
Okay.
So that's the way. So we'll just have to see how this plays out. I guess Carly uploaded those photos yesterday afternoon. Request the inspection. We'll see what happens from there.
I think perhaps some folks might be worried that if there's an inspection involved, that might delay the completion of the job. But you finished that job, by 3 o'clock yesterday, and you said you.
No, they don't have anything built in, and this is something that we talked about with the cities and the development of this whole thing, and talking about it is that once we go out and rip a roof off. Okay, once we tear the Band-Aid off, we can't stop. We've got to complete what it is that we're doing and get that consumer dried in and protected. And they understood that, and that's why the shot sheets, the photo requirements, the things that need to be documented and all, that's why that's in place, because it has to be a process that can continue moving forward. It can't be a process that you stop and you're waiting for somebody to come. We used to deal with this with the insurance companies where they'd say, you didn't give us a chance to look at it. You say, you're exactly right. We sent you 100 photos with tape measures and everything else of what that condition was, and we didn't give you a chance to decide that, oh, we need to get somebody out there in about 3 weeks to take a look at this. We
Right.
did not do that. You're exactly right. We did not do that. So anyway, kind of nonsensical, but that's part of what we used to deal with. So.
Well,
Anyway.
do you, Scott? Do you, since Chris finally showed up, the late Chris Guarnera? Do you want to go up on the roof for your view, or do you want to talk to this guy?
Well, we'll do both. Let's go up on the roof for
Go
my
up on the
view,
roof.
and
Now,
then
Scott, hang on up there.
Oh man,
Oh no.
yeah.
So you climbed that ladder this week, did
Climb
you?
that ladder. Well, and last week, and this is in that category of. Hey, Mama, put another layer on that cake.
Oh.
Okay, so I was on a roof that we started tearing off the roof, and we knew Scotty had known from his initial review of this job, he had indicated there are multiple layers of underlayment.
Yes.
So the underlayment is what's above the decking and underneath the shingles. That's underlayment. So we started tearing off, and we take that first layer off, which was a layer of synthetic underlayment, okay? And we get to the second layer, and it's a layer of tar paper in the vernacular, okay? It's a layer of felt. So we take the second layer off, and there's another layer underneath it. All right, so we take the third layer off, and there's another layer underneath it. So we take the fourth layer off, and there's another layer underneath it. So if you go back through what I just said, 5 layers of underlayment, 1 synthetic and 4 felts on this roof. This house was built in the 80s. Okay? And I was doing the math in my mind and kind of figuring out, if you have an asphalt shingle roof in Oklahoma, before we got into the systems builds, the building better, the flex technologies, the modified asphalt shingles, the class 4s, all that stuff didn't really start big time. Well, till I got here, Rick? No, no, didn't start big time until after 2000.
Yeah.
Okay. So roofs lasted on average about 7.5 years. All right. Well, take 5 layers times 7.5 years, and what do you get to? So really what we were looking at was the original layer of underlayment that was put on that roof when that house was built.
Right.
No one had ever done, what's it called, Rick?
A complete tear off.
Clean
deck, yes.
Clean deck tear off. No one had ever done a clean deck tear off. And why do we do a clean deck tear off?
So you can take a look at the deck.
So we can inspect the decking, okay? And so when we take 5 layers of decking off this roof, what did we find?
Underlayment, 5 layers of underlayment.
5 layers of underlayment. Did I say 5 layers of decking?
Yeah.
No, it didn't have that. 5 layers of underlayment off the roof.
And
what did we find?
I'll bet you found some water damage.
I bet we found some water damage. And where did we find that? We found that around the pipes because they didn't have ice and water protection. We found it in the valleys because they didn't have ice and water protection.
Was that just not used back, in the 80s?
The ice and water, I'd have to go back and see. No, there certainly were products like that.
Okay.
It just was not the mindset of an industry. Okay. It just was not a mind. And what do we know? You inspect what you expect. Has anyone ever inspected roofs? No. Have most roofing companies ever inspected the work that their subcontractors are doing? No. All right? So you get what you inspect what you expect. Nobody is inspecting, so you get whatever the subcontractor gives you. So that's the way it's been.
All right. Well, Chris, I swear you will get to talk in this next half hour.
I don't know.
You're listening to McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. Apparently, we're having some trouble with the YouTube channel, so we're not live streaming. I apologize for that.
Why not?
I have to get the intern working on that during the break. We'll be right back.